Welcome back to the channel, folks. And if you're new here, well, you just walked into the middle of absolute chaos. Because today, we're diving back into my Wuthering Waves journey. Last time, we wrapped up that whole gondola adventure and survived the drama with Zani, Cristoforo, Phoebe, and Gilberto. But now, oh boy, things are about to escalate faster than my frame rate during a Tayset Discord ambush. In today's video, get ready for a full-blown lore dump, gameplay breakdown, and some questionable life choices made by yours truly. We're talking about the mysterious Rinascita Divinity. Yeah, that's right, the big scary thing the game's been teasing us with. I'll be explaining what it is, why it matters, and how it ties into the story so far. But that's not all. This is the part of the game where we meet Roccia, the absolute tank of a character with more grit than my internet connection during a storm. Then there's Pero, a walking mood swing with a sword, and Brant, who looks like he's been carrying emotional trauma since beta testing. Oh, and there's also a dragon. Yes, you heard me right. A literal, giant, angry, laser-breathing dragon moment is coming up. So, expect story reactions, gameplay commentary, bad jokes, and probably me screaming at least once. Let's jump back in. Things are about to get very loud and very dramatic. Alright, settle in folks, because we're about to dive deep into one of the most fascinating legends hidden inside Wuthering Waves, the legend of Rinascita's Divinity. So here's the story. Long before we showed up swinging swords and dodging corrupted echoes, Rinascita was a land divided. Not just politically, but spiritually. Two massive, godlike beings ruled over this region. One was the Sentinel Imperator, a majestic, almost celestial unicorn that ruled the skies. The other was the Thrinotian Leviathan, a monstrous sea creature that controlled the waters. Think giant sea dragon vibes, but way moodier. Now, naturally, people being people, they picked sides. Entire factions formed around worshipping one or the other. Prayers turned to arguments, arguments turned to wars, and before anyone could stop it, the entire land was hit with a catastrophic event known as the Dark Tide. A literal apocalypse of chaos, destruction, and Tayset Discord energy flooding the region. After the dust settled, a man named Napoli II, who would go on to become Rinascita's first primus, made a prophecy on his deathbed. His final words were basically like, Asterisk, the divinity was whole once, but now, because of our fighting, it's shattered. And from that broken divinity came this curse we're living through. But don't lose hope. The divinity has chosen a herald to bring it back together. Asterisk. That herald is what became known in legend as the Enlightened One. Some people call her Fleur-de-Lis, others know her as Cartithia. Doesn't matter what name you use, she's the one chosen to mend the rift between sky and sea. The legend says, thanks to her, the two divine entities, the Sentinel Imperator and the Thrinotian Leviathan, merge into a single celestial being, a hippocampus. Basically, a fusion of unicorn and sea dragon. Half horse, half sea serpent, all cosmic power. And here's the cool part. The whole divinity ritual we do in the game at that old Septimont temple, lighting those statues, activating those echo points, and unlocking that final chest, it's not just a random puzzle. It's an in-game recreation of that ancient event, symbolically showing us the divinity coming back together. So yeah, next time you trigger that divinity trophy pop-up, just remember, you're not just solving a puzzle, you're reenacting a piece of Rinascita's spiritual history. Pretty epic, right? And if you're wondering how that all looks in-game, don't worry, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in the next part of this video.
It's done. Looks like these stained glass images recount a tale about the divinity. Wait. Together with the inscriptions on the tablet, it should be... In the earliest days of Rinascita, there were two divinities. One rules the sky and the other the seas, eternally at odds with each other. Amidst the turmoil they wrought, Rinascita evolved. In those times of legend, people waged war over their disparate fates. All this was ended by an unprecedented TD outbreak. The Dark Tide, so was it known. It ravaged a great part of Rinascita. After the Dark Tide, Napoli, the first Primus, restored civilization from the ashes. He founded the Order to guide the broken Laguna. Yet, not long after, he went to be with the Divinity. On his deathbed, he spoke to the believers. Once whole, the Divinity was rent by warring creeds. From their holy wounds sprang the curse of Dark Tide. Though the woes of Rinascita yet endure, the shattered Divinity hath chosen their herald. On the grandest of days, the maiden, crowned with golden laurel, shall commune with the Divinity. Thus she becomes the prophesied enlightened one, through whom Rinascita's woes shall end. Then, the Divinity shall return to its true form, and Rinascita, under its glory, shall be a paradise, free of suffering. Rinascita has two divinities. The Montelli family archives hold many documents on Rinascita's past, yet none mentioned two divinities. Apparently, the Order believes the images on the stained glass to be real. They wouldn't even hesitate.
Alright, so today, we're diving straight into the big question every Wuthering Waves player secretly asks. Who are the most overpowered, broken, absolutely must-have characters in the game right now? You know, the ones that make bosses cry, enemies evaporate, and your friends jealous. Let's start at the top, the absolute SS tier. These are the game changers, the ones you see in every sweaty high-level team. The ones you pull for at 2 in the morning with trembling hands, hoping for that golden glow. First up, Jinshi. This lady isn't just a DPS, she's an airstrike on legs. Fast, flashy, and with aerial combos that'll make you feel like a fighting game pro. If you manage to pull her, congrats, your account just leveled up in life. Next, Inlin. If Jinshi is air power, Inlin is electrical punishment on repeat. Off-field damage, crazy multipliers, and that smug energy that says, yeah, I know I'm carrying this whole team. And then, Zhizhi, a glacial unit who's basically a Swiss Army knife. She buffs, she freezes, she slaps. Great for beginners and veterans alike. Xiangli Yao is up next. Big burst electro damage, a real glass cannon. But when she pops, oh boy, it's like watching fireworks at close range, while holding them in your hand, dangerously fun. Also, Carlotta, Camellia, and Phoebe, each with their own broken combos and absolutely unbalanced moments. Especially Phoebe's frazzle mechanic. If you know, you know. Oh, and shout out to Shorekeeper, our top tier healer and buffer. If she's on your team, you're not dying anytime soon. Unless you're, you know me, and forget to dodge. Now, sliding just below that, we've got the S-tier heroes. Think of these as the side characters who could absolutely star in their own main story. Calchero, Encore, Jian, Changli, Rover in Havoc form, Mortify, Sanhua, Danjin, Verena, Brant, Roccia. Yep, that's a lot of names. But trust me, every one of them has a moment where they'll make you feel like a gaming god. Speaking of Rover, lore-wise this guy, or girl, depending on your choice, is often called the most powerful resonator in the entire game's history. First of their kind, wielder of insane abilities. And honestly, low-key broken when built right. Now, there's also someone else stirring up the community. Cartithia, the blessed maiden of Rinascita. Not playable yet, but the lore folks are already freaking out. Apparently, when she does show up, it's going to be a game-changing event. So yeah, get your resources ready. So, to wrap it up, if you've got any of these characters, congrats, you're living the meta dream. If not, well, good luck on your next pull. Or just do what I do, cry, then grind some more. And hey, stick around. In the next part of this video, I'll break down each character's skills, combos, and the team setups that'll help you absolutely meld enemies. Let's go. And let's be real for a second. If you're like me, you've probably spent more time re-rolling banners and staring at pity counters than actually playing the game. There's nothing like that soul-crushing moment when you save up for weeks, hit that summon button, and get another copy of Sanwa. Meanwhile, your friend who downloaded the game yesterday, yeah, they pulled Jin Shi on their first try, while casually texting their ex. Honestly, at this point, my main DPS is emotional damage. But hey, whether you're rocking an S-tier god squad or just surviving with 3-star units and pure hope, we're all suffering. I mean, enjoying together. Now, back to the breakdown before my wallet cries again. Alright everyone, let's take a moment to talk about one of the most iconic creatures you're going to meet in Act 3, the Dragon of Dirge, also known by its ancient name Gehinnom. This isn't just any boss. It's a Tayset Discord turned skeletal safari nightmare on Penitent's End, feasting on frequencies of decay and death until it became a horror show wrapped in dragon bones. Originally honored as the king of dragons, this being, Gehinnom, was revered in ancient Avenolium. But over time, it was corrupted, its power twisted, and ultimately bound by a mysterious crown bestowed by the Order of the Deep. That crown is integral. It keeps the dragon under control, turning it into a tool for the Order's own ends. Yet even bound, it hungers. Legends say its eternal anguish was not merely physical. It yearned for release from endless suffering. Its crown, eerily similar to the one seen on Cartithia, hints at a deeper link between rulers and dragons in the lore. Fans often describe it as mythic, terrifying, and unforgettable. Some players say the Dragon of Dirge feels like something pulled straight from a dark fantasy RPG, a From Software-style boss with a side of cosmic horror. Others love the fact that when you finally earn its echo, you get to briefly transform into the dragon itself. Bones, roar, and all. And let's not ignore the design. Skeletal wings, bone spikes, a roar that sounds like it's echoing from the underworld itself. This isn't just a dragon. It's a walking graveyard with an attitude problem. Gameplay-wise, the Dragon of Dirge Echo lets you unleash a Grief Rift, a massive area of effect attack that leaves enemies regretting all their life decisions. Plus, it buffs your fusion damage and basic attacks, making it one of the most coveted echoes for late-game builds. Long story short, the Dragon of Dirge is more than just a boss fight. It's a lore centerpiece. A once majestic creature, twisted by decay, controlled through ancient rituals, and now reduced to a tragic, bone-clad monster perched atop a forgotten shrine. Stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how this dragon makes its terrifying entrance in-game. Trust me, you'll want to see this. Let's unbox the dynamic duo of Wuthering Waves, Roccia and her mysterious companion, Pero. Roccia is officially the first mate of the Troupe of Fools, a circus-inspired troupe for banished artists. Picture a gothic carnival acrobat in big gauntlets, riding a magical suitcase, crafting stage props, and bringing comfort to the anxious. She's calm, observant, and deeply tuned into others' feelings, even if her battle style screams, living wrecking ball. Now meet Pero. Born from the artistic artifacts in Roccia's suitcase, Pero manifested as a shadow creature who supplements Roccia's creativity, and sometimes her combat. Fans love Pero, calling them precious and noting their cute, untouchable powers. Pero aids on stage, grows limbs when needed, and even helps Roccia sense echoes. Together, they're inseparable. Roccia expresses emotion through performance. Pero embodies imagination and inspiration. Roccia plays as a Havoc Gauntlet sub-DPS, pairing brute force with utility. Her imagination meter, which goes up to 300, builds up from all her attacks and skills. This fuels her powerful aerial forte combo. Her heavy attack lets you hold the button to build this gauge. Once it crosses 100, She can unleash an aerial combo with multiple slams and self-buffs. Her resonance skill, called Acrobatic Trick, pulls enemies in and launches her into Forte mode for fast imagination building and crowd control. Her Resonance Liberation, Commedia Improviso, deals massive AoE havoc damage and gives your team an ATK buff that scales with her crit rate, up to plus 200 ATK. Her Outro skill, Applause Please, buffs the next character by increasing their havoc damage and basic attack power. It also spawns a curiosity box that pulls enemies in for 14 seconds, great for setting up big combos. Roccia quietly cares for her crew, crafting props and staging shows to cheer people up, even those dealing with secret anxieties of adulthood. Pero, emerging from her suitcase, became both emotional anchor and creative partner. The pair's bond symbolizes healing through performance and storytelling. Reddit fans love their vibe. Pero is a good ghost cat lady thing. Pero is precious. Though Roccia's companion quest got mixed reviews, some say it felt underwhelming and lacking depth. Players universally praised Pero's charm. In-game, Roccia isn't just adorable, she's game-changing. She really shines in mob content and buffs DPS heroes like Camellia and Havoc Rover. Her grouping ability, buffs, and imagination loops make her invaluable for high-output teams. In short, Roccia blends creative empathy, bouncing brawls, and tactical utility, while Pero adds mystery, emotional depth, and echo-wrangling magic. Together, they make gameplay rich, fun, and deeply heartfelt. Next up in the video, I'll show you their banter moments and how Roccia's kit actually feels in combat. Let's enjoy the show. Alright, now let's talk about Roccia's connection to the deeper lore and story of Wuthering Waves. At first glance, Roccia might just seem like this cheerful performer with a suitcase and a fluffy mascot. But there's way more going on behind that smile. So, Roccia was once part of a group called the Troop of Fools. Sounds fun, right? But here's the dark twist. This troop was made up of people exiled by the Order of the Deep. Yeah, that same order that loves controlling everything and everyone. Anyone who didn't fit their strict beliefs got kicked out. Roccia was one of them. Instead of giving up, she turned that exile into something beautiful. She became the heart of the troop, cooking for them, building props, and putting on performances to lift everyone's spirits in the middle of all the chaos. And that's where Pero comes in. Pero isn't just some random pet. He's literally a piece of Roccia's imagination brought to life. Born straight out of her suitcase, full of theater props and pure emotional energy. Cute? Yes, but also deeply symbolic. There's even this story where Roccia comforted a homesick stranger by giving them what she called a one-way ticket to Wonderland. Her way of saying, forget your worries, even just for a little while. That's Roccia's thing, turning pain into something magical. But don't let the cheerful personality fool you. Roccia's been through a lot. During one event at Penitent's End, she almost fell victim to corrupted echoes mid-performance. It was Pero who saved her, literally pulling her back from a Tayset Discord nightmare. That moment shows just how strong their bond really is. And if you check out her companion story called Starry is the Night, it gets even deeper. She takes you, yes, the player, on a walk to a cliff where she used to stand, watching over friends she lost to the Tayset Discord. It's a heavy moment about grief, letting go, and finding hope again. Even her combat abilities reflect her lore. She's all about mobility and crowd control. Roccia dances through battle with flashy acrobatics, pulling enemies together and boosting her team, just like she holds her troop together in the story. A lot of players think she's just comic relief, but under all that humor and flair, Roccia is one of the most emotionally layered characters we've met so far. So yeah, in the upcoming videos, I'll show you her full companion cutscene and how all this lore comes together in-game. You're gonna love it. Now you are about to meet the Golden Phantom. You're in the dense sea fog of Penitent's End, navigating by torchlight as Roccia warns you about dark phantoms that can turn into full-blown Tayset discords at any moment. But then, something different appears. Not a monster, not a friend. Instead, you hear a haunting voice, soft, beckoning. Come, play with me, look for me. I'm here. Those golden footprints glow faintly on the ground. Follow them, and you find the Golden Phantom, a twisted echo of someone who once lived, now lingering in the mist, guiding you forward. Roccia explains it beautifully. These aren't monsters. They're reverberations, the final fragments of a soul, held together by a strong emotional echo. They haven't turned into discords yet, so they guide you, almost like lost souls helping travelers in fog. It's a powerful narrative beat, fleeting, sad, hopeful, because the phantom shows genuine care. I'm so happy for you. You're not alone anymore. But Roccia reminds us it's bittersweet. Once the mist lifts, these phantoms vanish, or worse, dissolve into discords if left behind. So the Golden Phantom segment isn't just a spooky detour. It's lore gold. It's a reminder of lost souls, remnant frequencies, and the tragedy of being forgotten. Now let's dive a bit deeper into the Golden Phantom. This isn't just some random ghost encounter. The Golden Phantom represents one of Wuthering Waves' core themes: memory, loss, and the thin line between hope and corruption. The reason this phantom appears golden and not like the usual Discord thread is because it's stuck in a state between life and Tayset Discord transformation. It's like emotionally charged energy clinging to existence, desperate to fulfill some final purpose before fading away. That's why it leaves those glowing footsteps, almost like it's trying to guide you somewhere safe or towards some unfinished business. If you listen closely during the phantom scenes, the voice lines are filled with sadness and longing. It's like they know their time is almost up, but helping you is their last act of resistance against the inevitable corruption. And lore-wise, there are big hints that these golden phantoms are linked to the same catastrophic frequencies that turn normal people into discords. This raises questions. Who was this phantom before the fall? Why is it helping you? And could the dragon, or even Roccia, have deeper connections to this energy? In my upcoming videos, I'll be diving deep into both the dragon's origins and the true lore behind the Golden Phantom. Because trust me, this isn't just a one-time ghost story. This has way bigger story consequences for the rest of the game. So stick around for that. Alright, let's quickly recap the absolute roller coaster we just survived in today's Wuthering Waves episode. First, we dove headfirst into the mystery of the Rinascita Divinity. You know, that ancient, glowing, lore-drenched energy source that makes the whole world fall apart, and also makes me fall apart trying to explain it without turning into a conspiracy theorist. Then enter Roccia. Big shields, big attitude, bigger damage numbers. And of course, floating right behind her like a judgmental cloud, Pero. Silent, ominous, probably knows all the secrets of the universe, refuses to speak, classic psychic behavior. And just when you thought things couldn't get more dramatic, boom, Golden Phantom drops in like a boss fight from your nightmares. Glowing, menacing, and probably the reason my character keeps fainting mid-battle. So yeah, lore? Check. Character breakdowns? Check. Me slowly losing my sanity? Check. Now, before you go sprinting off to grind more echoes, hit that like button like it owes you astral dust. Smash that subscribe button like you're landing a perfect counter on a Tayset Discord. In the upcoming videos, we're diving deep into the Golden Phantom's lore, the dragon's backstory, and maybe, just maybe, I'll finally stop getting emotional over cutscenes. No promises though. Alright, I'm off to rewatch the story trailers for the 5th time. Stay epic, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.